Hey everyone, what is going on? So I wanted to make a video that's generally different from the type of videos I usually make. I wanted to release a video that discusses the Pokemon that are currently unreleased up until Kalos. I'm not going to be talking about the Kalos Pokemon because that was just released and obviously we're missing a bunch of those. But maybe I'll do an updated video when Alola region comes out, the Alola Pokemon. But for right now, we're going to be talking about all the Pokemon up until Kalos that are missing, why they're missing, or why I think they're missing, and when we could possibly be getting them, in my opinion. Now, obviously, if you have a different opinion, you could let me know down below. I definitely want to hear it. But anyway, we're going to start with the probably most anticipated Pokemon at this point in time, only because it's the earliest unreleased Pokemon. We're going to be talking about my friend Keklian, right? Keklian is a Pokemon from the Hoenn region, and it's from the 3rd generation. It has not been released yet, and this is a Pokemon that we all want. It's similar to Smeargle, just because Smeargle hasn't been released for a very long time, and then we finally got it. So we could get it, but I think they're probably deciding how they want to release this, because for those that don't know, Keklian has an ability that when it's attacked, it changes into the typing of that Pokemon. So for example, it's a normal type, but if it's hit with like a fighting type move, it becomes a fighting type. And then if it's hit with a water type move, it becomes a water type. So they're probably unsure how to release this, because if it's allowed in PvP, first of all, how do you really go about using it? I mean, you basically have to scrap its ability. I mean, I know Pokemon don't have abilities in Pokemon Go. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? How do you think they could release this one? It's very interesting. I mean, they could just ignore the ability altogether and just release the Pokemon, and I'd be totally down with that. Honestly, I just want Keklian at this point in time. I think that's what they would probably do. Additionally, they could release all the types of Keklian. So, for example, release a fighting type Keklian as if it was just hit by a fighting type. I don't see them doing that because I believe only one Keklian is currently programmed into the game. But this one I'm kind of stumped on. We're obviously long overdue for it. I just don't know when they're going to release it. I think they will release it. Hopefully within the next year. I don't know, maybe 2021, but it's kind of difficult to say just because it's a Pokemon that it's the earliest one we're missing. So I'm going to leave that to you guys. What do you guys think? When do you think we'll get Keklian? Do you care if they ignore its ability altogether and just release it? I personally wouldn't care. Maybe they could do something with Go Snapshot, although they do that with Smeargle. Excuse me. So I don't really know. It's kind of difficult to say. But anyway, we're going to move on to the Sinnoh region because that's the only Hoenn Pokemon we're missing. And I'm going to talk about Rotom. So we actually got Rotom in GoFest, at GoFest. We got the Wash Rotom, but we're missing the other ones. We're missing the regular one, the Heat Rotom, the Ice type, the Fan, the Mo Rotom. We're missing all of them besides the Wash one. And I don't, at this point, don't understand why they haven't released it. They may be saving them for special events because since we got Rotom, the Wash one, they just release the forms individually, right? So that's basically what they're going to do. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to, you're not going to have to change the forms or anything. They're just going to release them. So who knows when we're going to get those. I think those are probably going to come soon just because I thought we were going to get them relatively soon after we got the Wash one at GoFest, but they haven't released them for some reason. I don't know why they dropped the Wash one, but anyway, we'll probably get those maybe during different seasons, but although the seasons began, we didn't get any yet. But those should just be released at some point. Manaphy and Phione, I think a lot of players assumed these Pokemon were going to be at GoFest instead of Victini. That's the Pokemon we got. That's the Mythical we got. I think the reason for that is because they're probably going to wait until they drop the Manaphy egg. So for those that don't know, Manaphy was originally released in a game called Pokemon Ranger, and it had a unique egg. It looked cool. It wasn't like any typical eggs. So I think they probably want to release that egg at some point, and maybe they were not ready for it at GoFest. That's why they put in Victini instead. But yeah, so I think they're going to release that egg at some point and you'll have to hatch it. Maybe it's a ridiculous amount of kilometers. Who knows? Maybe it's 100 kilometers, 50, 20 kilometers. I don't know. Probably going to be a lot once they release that egg, and then it will hatch into a Manaphy, maybe through special research. You'll get the egg and then you'll be able to hatch Manaphy. Phione is interesting as well because in order to get Phione, you have to breed Manaphy, and there's no breeding in the game. I might make a topic for breeding in a separate video, I don't know, and why they haven't released it. But So as for Fione, I'm not really sure. They could put it in an egg as well. They could just release that. I think it will come alongside Manaphy at some point whenever we do get Manaphy. Maybe next Go Fest, maybe next Safari Zone, whatever it happens to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about my good buddy Shaymin. Shaymin is another mythical. And yeah, just going to save it for another event. Maybe next Go Fest. I don't really... I mean, Shaymin has two forms. It has the land form and the sky form. So... in the main games, you have the land form and you use an item called the Grace-a-Dia flower, and that transforms Shaymin into its sky form, which is really cool. So as for why they didn't put them in this game yet, well, it's just a mythical, and they're just releasing mysticals generally on a yearly basis for the most part, these type of mysticals, I think. I mean, Shaymin could come sooner, it could come next Go Fest. Honestly, if it wasn't Manaphy last Go Fest, I thought it was going to be Shaymin, but no, not yet. So I think Shaymin, Land, and Sky will come at the same time. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about Arceus. Oh man, Arceus, yep. So Arceus is an interesting Pokemon. It's the God Pokemon, that's what it's considered. And it has... you could put plates on it in the main games to get each type. So you could have a Fairy Arceus, you could have a Dark, Ghost, Fighting. You can have all the types. So all the types, all the forms are programmed into the game, I believe. So yeah, I mean, as to when this is going to be released, I really don't know. I think this would be a perfect EX boss, but they kind of did away with EX bosses. So if that ever returns, I could totally see Arceus being an EX boss. Maybe, they could change every month. Maybe it would be random. But I do think that would be an EX boss or some sort of special raid. Maybe not EX, but I don't think they'll just put it into raids unless if it's like special. But we'll see. I mean, they have to release all the forms. They don't have to, but generally speaking, that's what we want. So they probably would at some point. Okay, so that is Sinnoh, right? I believe we're done with Sinnoh, so we're going to go ahead and talk about the Unova region. So Kyurem is currently the current raid boss, but we also have Pokemon called Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. Now, in order to get them in the main games, you fuse like Reshiram and Zekrom, or Reshiram or Zekrom with Kyurem, and then you get Black or White Kyurem. And that's not going to happen in the main games because there's no, or in Pokemon Go because there's no items. So we're going to get them individually. These are another two Pokemon that I think are probably going to be really powerful for the Master League. So I do think these will probably be released as EX bosses, similar to Arceus. I mean, if they're not EX bosses, they could put them in raids, but I don't know that they would put them in regular raids. I think they deserve to be special, in my opinion, because they're really powerful. They're kind of two Pokemon together, so I do think they deserve to be special. Okay, moving on to Keldeo. Now, Keldeo has two forms, the regular form and then the Resolute form. The Resolute form basically just has a longer horn. So, this is another mythical Pokemon, so this is anyone's guess. It could come at any point in time. Could come through raids like Genesect and Darkrai, or it could come through special research. I mean, if they're giving them both away. I think they'd probably do the regular form first and then at some point the other one. But again, another mythical, could be any way they want to release it. So moving on, we have Meloetta. So Meloetta has two forms. I don't remember the names of the forms, but they're two forms. They're on screen, so you can take a look at them. And who knows how they're going to release these, probably just individually. Again, I think about these are Pokemon that could probably just be in regular raids, similar to Darkrai and Genesect. Moving on to Dealing and Swordsbucks, well, we're getting those. We don't have all of them released. They're going to be dropping for each season, we know that. So the next up, going to be the Forces of Nature. So those Pokemon are the Genies. However, did you know that the Genies have alternate forms? They have forms called the Therian forms. So I'm surprised we haven't gotten these yet, to be honest with you. Excuse me. They're legendary Pokemon. They're just alternate forms. That's basically all they are. You use an item in the main games to transform the Genies into these alternate forms. They personally look really cool. A Landorus Therian form I think is going to be amazing for Pokemon Go. It's amazing for the main games. So I think it's just going to have like a higher attack. It's going to be really solid. Going to be really good. And yeah, I don't know exactly when we're going to get these. I thought they would have come already. But now that we have Kalos, maybe they'll start releasing the Kalos legendaries instead of these. So these might be pushed aside for a moment, but hopefully we get them soon because they look really cool. Next up is the remaining Genesect forms. So we have the normal form. The other forms are just, they look the same. They just have like a minor different piece on them. For example, if they're water type, they have like that water piece on them, or it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I mean, these could come whenever they bring back raids or whatever with Genesect in them. They could just release them whenever they want. Who knows when they're going to? Hopefully soon. Okay, we have Universe Pokemon. So we have Munna and Musharna. Not sure why these haven't been released. Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys. So Munna evolves with a Moonstone in the main games. In Pokemon Go, it's going to be evolving with a Universe Stone. So it's going to be evolving with a Universe Stone. Not really sure why these haven't been released, but I mean, it's just a typical Universe Pokemon. It could come at any point in time. Again, now that they're on to Kalos, I don't know why these have not been released. So hopefully they release Munna and Musharna soon, I guess. I mean, they could come at any point in time, I guess, but we'll see. Okay, moving on to Zorua and Zoroark. So I think this suffers a similar fate to Keklian. It's a different ability, but Zorua and Zoroark have an ability called Disguise, and in the main games. And when you're battling somebody, if they have, let's say, a random Pokemon, let's say a Magneton or Magnezone, whatever, it could be a Zoroark in disguise, and you're not going to know about it until you attack it. And once you attack it, it'll transform back into its original form, which is going to be Zorua or Zoroark. So they're probably unsure how to release this, right? I mean, they could take a similar approach to Ditto, where you could catch random Pokemon and it could be a Zorua. So for example, if you catch a Seedot, it could be disguised as a Zorua, same as Ditto, and then you could get it that way. I think that's probably the best way to go, right? I'm not sure. I mean, it's different than Keklian, so I feel like they could get away with it with taking the same approach as Ditto. But I knew this Pokemon, and I didn't know it, but I once Unova came out, I thought they would probably not release this. So it hasn't been released yet. Hopefully it comes soon. So we have the Vanillish, Vanillux, which is the ice cream cone Pokemon. These could come out for the holiday season just because they're ice types. They're, ice cream basically. They could have come out last Christmas. They could come out this Christmas. We don't know. So we're going to go ahead and move on to Jellicent. Or Frillish and Jellicent, I should say. Frillish evolves into Jellicent. Now, the blue and pink are just gender forms, but they're the same Pokemon. So these Pokemon, it's anyone's guess, honestly. I thought they were going to come out Halloween 2019, and then when that didn't happen, I thought it was going to be Halloween 2020. That didn't happen, so I really don't know. I guess they could drop them at any point in time. They could put them in 12K eggs like they did with like the Sandile line, and Ponyard. So they could do something like that. They kind of strike me as Team Rocket Pokemon in a way, so I could totally see them doing that. Electrike into Electros, I think that's how you say the names. Dynamo, I think. Dynamo was the first one. Electrike, or not Electrike. Electrike, something, I don't know. I get confused with these ones, but they're on screen. And again, just Unova Pokemon we haven't gotten yet. Not really sure why we haven't gotten these ones yet. I do like them, so hopefully we get these ones soon, but we'll have to see. Moving on to Mienfoo and Mienshao. They're just standard fighting type Pokemon. Again, not really sure why we haven't gotten these. Just Unova Pokemon they haven't released yet. These are other Pokemon I could see being in 12-kilometer eggs, so we'll have to see if they decide to do a shakeup. I still don't have Sandile, so hopefully I get that first, but... Okay, so Druddigon. Druddigon is a Dragon type. It's another Pokemon that I could see being in a 12K egg. They could be saving some of these Pokemon once they replace the 12K egg Pokemon to swap them up. I think that's probably what they're going to do. So I think we'll get some of these new ones pushed into 12K eggs at some point in time. Some of them maybe in the wild, but some of them in 12K eggs. So we're going to move on to Larvesta and Volcarona, and I think this is probably a popular one that a lot of trainers are looking forward to, or have been since the launch of the Unova region. Larvesta is going to take 400 candy, so it's going to be a big investment, but these are really popular ones from the main games. I love them, so yeah, I'm looking forward to them. Not sure why they haven't been released. It could be a raid exclusive boss similar to Timber, Clink, with the shiny being released. I think that could be a possibility, but then you'll have to do a lot of raids, right? Because as I said, 400 candy, you could walk it as well. But anyway, we're going to talk about Domanitan. Now, Domanitan has an alternate form called the Zen. I think it's Zen form. So it's on the screen. I'm not sure if we're actually ever going to get this. It's basically only activated during battle, so we might not get this. So I'm not too concerned with that just because we might not get it. But yeah, anyway, that is going to be that. So quickly discuss the Keklian forms. We have Keklian Slowpoke. So Keklian Slowpoke was added in the Isle of Armor DLC for the main games. So it's kind of new compared to the other ones. So that's why we probably haven't seen that one yet. We probably will see it at some point in time. Obviously, it's evolutions as well. So we haven't gotten that one yet. And yeah, we're just going to quickly discuss the Keklian Domanitan Zen mode, which looks like a snowman, so it looks pretty cool. Anyway, I believe I covered all of the Pokemon. That's going to be it. Let me know which one you're most excited for. For me personally, well, I want Keklian to get the last Hoenn Pokemon, but that's not the one I'm most excited for. The one I want the most, I would have to say, out of all these, is probably going to be either Zoroark or Black and White Kira, maybe, I don't know. I think those are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most. Anyway, let me know which you're looking forward to the most, and I will see you all in the next one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos with charts and for each event that comes up, let me know in the comments, and I will continue to do that because I love making these. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Bye.